Aaron, good morning. Well, today King Charles is going to be spending a solemn day in New York City after a lot of pomp and circumstance at the White House. He's planning to honor the victims of the 9/11 terror attacks, and security is already tightening up ahead of the royal visit. The first by a reigning British monarch in more than 15 years. NewsNation national correspondent Marcus Espinoza is live at the 9/11 memorial. Good morning, Marcus. So the King and Mayor Zohran Mamdani are expected to lay wreaths there in just a few hours. Tell us more.
Hey, Anna, good morning. That's exactly correct here. It's going to strike a somber tone here, obviously. Today, the King is paying his respects, of course, to the victims. 67 British victims were a part of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. He was received warmly yesterday by the White House and attending that dinner after addressing Congress there. And during that speech, King Charles took a moment to acknowledge the upcoming 25th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks and the profound effect they had, not just on this city, really, but the entire world.
My wife and I will again pay our respects to the victims, the families, and the bravery shown in the face of terrible loss. We stood with you then, and we stand with you now in solemn remembrance of a day that shall never be forgotten.
And also during that speech there to Congress, really called for a renewed partnership between the United States and the United Kingdom. He's also going to attend a U.S.-UK trade event at Rockefeller Center later today as well.
All right, and Marcus, we know that security is going to be on higher alert during today's visit. What's tightening up?
Yeah, pretty much everything. And obviously, when a king comes into town, that is something that is going to elevate security. This has been planned for quite some time now. So security being taken extremely seriously, not just by the Secret Service, but also the NYPD stepping up and helping on its part. They've already increased security at key points here. Here's former Deputy Police Commissioner and security consultant Tariq Shepard.
You break the front line, we have a second line ready to mitigate that. You get past that, there's a third layer ready to deal with that before you get to the king.
So despite that beefed up security, I think for a lot of people, Anna, this is an opportunity to catch a glimpse of the king and queen. It is something that New Yorkers are not able to see every single day. Obviously, this trip has not happened in quite some time. So outside of that security, perhaps they get that glimpse there, but a somber tone to start out here and then moving forward with other events.
All right, Marcus, enjoy a front row seat to history there. Thank you. We're going to welcome into the show now Andrew Lowney. He's the British royal family biographer. Nice to see you today. Thanks for joining us this morning in America on a Wednesday.
Pleasure.
So how do you think the visit's going so far?
I think it's going extremely well. We knew that the king was our trump card. I think the speech yesterday struck just the right balance between flattery and a bit of pushback. I think it was a class act, a sort of wise old adult slightly chiding a slightly recalcitrant child. And I think, the king made the point that, there are these very long established roots. There may be a temporary spat at the moment. Some branches of the tree may have been pulled down, but the roots are strong. And I think there was quite a lot of pushback showing the importance of alliances, not least this one between our two nations.
Andrew, I'd like our viewers to hear a little bit of that. As he's addressing Congress, he did talk about those roots, those longstanding roots that you mentioned. Let's listen.
Whatever our differences, whatever disagreements we may have, we stand united in our commitment to uphold democracy, to protect all our people from harm, and to salute the courage of those who daily risk their lives in the service of our countries.
And as we look ahead, he'll be here for 2 more days. King Charles will be. What do you expect today in New York?
Well, I think he's making the point that, we do stand together. We've both countries have suffered terrorist attacks. the story that's been put out is that Britain hasn't supported America in the war in the Middle East. But I think the point that he will stress is that when there has been a need to invoke Article 5, as there was after 9/11, Britain has been there in full support of the United States. So to remember our history, I think will be one of the things that comes out. But also, I think, he will continue to stress the importance of our trading relationship and the importance of international rule of law. And there were a number, I thought, very subtle digs at the president, but done with charm, humor, and wit in a way that the president seemed to quite like it. So I think a class act. He's gone down extremely well, I think, on both sides of the Atlantic.
And our First Lady, Melania Trump, seemed to really be enjoying herself too. Even giggling at times, and just seeming really entertained by all of it. I'm wondering what will happen, after day 4, on day 5, when King Charles heads back to the UK, and when he, the next time he sees Prime Minister Keir Starmer. We've got a full screen, if we can put up, about the relationship between Trump and Starmer being on the rocks here. So how significant is this trip, and will it mend fences when it comes to the relationship between Starmer and Trump?
Yeah, I hope it will mend fences, because I think it's very important that we do all that together. I think there's clearly a strong personal rapport between the King and the President in a way that there isn't with Starmer. And I have no doubt the President will still make some remarks about Starmer, but I think he will modify them in future in the light of perhaps this visit. And that's what we all hoped, that this would kind of smooth the waters a bit and get us back to business as usual.
Okay. Look, in this country, since we don't have a royal family, a monarchy, it's all kind of, it's foreign to us, right? You have a piece in the Daily Mail where you say, without more openness, the monarchy will not survive. What do you mean by that? And share with our viewers, through a lens that's a bit different in this country.
Yes, well, I'm a very strong monarchist, but I do believe that the royal family is far too secretive, particularly about its finances, and that we need to kind of make it fit for purpose for the 20th century. The relationship between the people and the royal family depends on trust and respect. A lot of that has been eroded by the behavior of the former Prince Andrew, a person I've written about. And in order to restore that trust and respect, the royal family needs to be more open. There's suspicions that other members of the royal family, apart from Prince Andrew, have benefited from their royal status for their own personal benefit. And that's the whole point about the monarchy. It's about public duty.
Right. All right. Andrew Lanni, thank you so much for joining us and weighing in.